Alright, this time we are trying out the equip spell from KB11. This one right here, the Galactica Zyphos. I'm not super sold on this, it's like definitely kind of clunky, but the potential is there. We're playing a galaxy kind of build. If I do my editing correctly, the list should be at the start of the video. So you'll be able to see exactly what I'm working with. I can't even use the Zyphos here just because of its requirement. Very unfortunate. The main concept of the deck is just to use Lurker to wipe your own board, then using Klein, the Jamaivu to great effect here. Yeah, that's the entire problem with the Zyphos. You just can't equip it as often as you'd want it to. Needing the high level on board, theoretically sounds plausible, but sometimes you're in this situation where it's early game and you really want to equip it, but you just can't. Yeah. And also just randomly can't be used if your opponent just has a board of 9s and 10s or something. But that doesn't come up nearly as often, just because of those kinds of decks like Fusions and Maximum just aren't very good nowadays anyway. They're using this to debuff the Sea Draw here. Then they can just beat over it with no problem. Having the Umi early is definitely very worrying. Yeah, I should go back to the high backer removal deck. Just put in more back removal. Would probably serve him better, but we'll see. If we draw a particularly good hand. Well, we did actually draw pretty well. We'll go ships, discard the Oblivion. Draw. You can do both actually. Interesting. Okay. We go Klein to add back the Oblivion. And we want to do the order first, in case they have Traplet. So we'll go from Graveyard here. So they can't set both of the Oblivions. So now that we know that they don't have anything, we can go into this boy, the Oblivion, normal summon the Bright Sentinel also, and then we can start using the Zyphos here. You can equip Zyphos onto the same monster twice, so we're gonna do that. And we get that attack stat, 7,000. Very normal attack stats to have. Just sometimes you find everything. We had games earlier, there were games that I ended up not using for recording purposes because those are just games where I was just drawing terribly. This game might go in just because I have found double Zyphos. We're only playing 2 copies of it too, so we're playing 2 copies for a good reason. It's definitely very clunky, sometimes it just doesn't really come up. But here we get to get a 6300 Galactica Oblivion that he needs specifically either the Torero or the Daedalus to actually do anything with. Milling a monster of the top zone with the performer doesn't get to trigger. Let's see if they manage to find any way to best our giant stick. A third actually copy of Umi isn't going to cut it here. We even found a media charge. We'll shift everything to defense as if they had what's it called? The Mirror Force. We should have used the media charge on the other Oblivion to play on Hard Defense Mission, but I'm very sure he wasn't playing Hard Defense Mission. Let's hopefully replicate that on following games. Not a particularly good hand. They found the Umi early, which is definitely very scary. We have the Helical Riser, but it doesn't beat over 27. We're playing Helical Riser mostly because it beats over very worrying here. We're playing this mostly because it beats over the over 2500s. But sometimes, 2600 is not good enough. I'm probably cutting it just to run more auto targets at this point. It's just like, the theory is that it beats past Shock Dragon in defense, it beats past Oblivion in defense, but if you're in a situation like this, turns out not good enough. And yeah, they could Daedalus to wipe the board, so it doesn't matter exactly what I did here. They did hit the spell, so they get to draw the card. We are playing a fair number of spells here, but not that many. I actually can't remember the exact ratios. We're playing more than normal decks, I think. They at least only get to shuffle one of the light galaxies here, so the client is still alive. We can add back the Bright Sentinel if we join to it. But we'll see exactly what we do next one. Not a very good position to be at, obviously. This Helical Riser is just barely too weak to beat over the Daedalus. We need to find another Zyphos, which is down there. Not ideal, this is just not great here. We will go for the Helical Riser because we can still beat over the Headbed Chachalot. We'll just use it here to put back the, I guess, the Pale Rider. We don't have any effects to put back. We can put back another Helical, but I don't really want to join to it, I don't think. Yeah, we'll put back the Pale Rider. Gain the 200 so we can beat over the 25. It's in this situation specifically that I prefer Helical Riser over something like a Milky Wave Neo, because then I can actually beat over the Chachalot. So definitely like trade-offs, right? Like sometimes things are good, sometimes it's not good. Depends on the situation. I think overall the Helical Riser is fine, but definitely not the perfect card. They have the Stone Excavation to add back to Umi, so they can wipe the board again. Maybe they're not gonna get rid of that, would be stupid. They just use it and then any beat stick lets them win the game here. Definitely unfortunate. Yep, that is in fact lethal. We'll just let them get the beats in. Just end the game through combat damage. Alright, third game, let's hopefully get that. Well, let's just see if we can get the comeback here. Secret Order on the Oblivion, we'll put it in defense here. Following up with the set of Crisis, and we'll just set the client just to make sure we don't take too much damage early. The Crisis here is going to be pretty important to let us keep our board. Though they're in a situation where like they need either the Wolfish plus the Urchin, or they need Umi plus a 2 tribute. So they don't have an easy time actually beating over this Oblivion. Also, technically you can use the Daedalus because that's 26 here. Unlike the Lurker, which we are playing at 2 copies here. Interesting order for this. Okay, no, they're just not gonna activate it, that's fine. We'll assume that they don't have the Umi here. And we'll just keep the Crisis for more, like, just straight up more useful applications of it. They just don't have, they do wipe the Crisis, which is unfortunate, but at least they're using it instead of like a Zyphos later on, which I think would be more important to use it on. We do manage to find it. This is a really good hand. We can set to tribute summon the Helical Riser. Following that out with a Secret Order. Target the Oblivion. We'll use the Zyphos on that Oblivion. And then we can use the Helical Riser to draw a card. And we can really get in some damage here. We'll put back, let's go with the Jamaivu. And we'll see what we draw off the top. Sea-Draw doesn't do anything, but we can just still get some damage in. Oblivion into the set monster, Helical Riser over the Granginus, the Oblivion. Directly for, this is 5,000 damage. Not 5,000, 49. If they find Umi, they find Umi, alright? They have to find Umi, Daedalus, or use one of their MSCs, which they already just used one, so they have a lesser chance of actually finding one of those. And Torero also works, which if they find that, that will be incredibly disappointing. Not because the Zyphos gets unequipped, but because you have to use Torero for that. Media Charge off the top. If we find it, we should win the game. We didn't, but unfortunately, because all these are monsters, we don't actually get the ability to put it back into the deck. I guess we'll keep this in hand, and then we'll go to battle phase and we'll just swing 3 times. Definitely not a situation that you really want to be in. Oh, they have Impaling Crisis, we know that from last game. Unfortunately, that probably means we lose the Oblivion with the Zyphos here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But we still have a board, we can still swing in to his monsters and hopefully live for future turns. Checking our grave real quick, we have more than enough spells for the Jamaivu. And hopefully we get to draw some other good stuff later on. We're not playing Stone Acceleration, I might consider doing that in future builds. So we only have one copy of Secret Order left, unless we draw it off the top with the Jamaivu after putting back 2 of them. But again, that entirely depends on what we draw. Lurker would be really good here. Because we can empty our board and use all of our stuff that needs empty board to activate. Would be extremely good. They do find the Umi, which is very worrying. That means that Daedalus will be able to nuke the board if they manage to find it. But that depends on them actually finding the one-off in the deck. Though they are halfway through the deck at this point, so not the most unlikely thing to happen. They do have the Chachalot here. If they have Grand Extreme, we are in a pretty poor position. Depends on what they do though. They don't, which is fantastic news. That means that the Zyphos is going to be live. So we can start doing some stuff hopefully next turn. They have to really decide what to hit here. I would hit the Helical here. Just because if I have Order in hand, then the Oblivion will be able to activate. Though I already lost 2 Secret Order, so I think this is actually the better play. Plus neither of them really can beat over anything right now anyway. Any normal monster will allow us to beat over the Temper Chachalot because this only buffs per the normal monsters on your board, which is not ideal. Not ideal for sure. We'll go set Jamaivus and then Tribute Summon for the Helical Riser. We have to equip the Zyphos here. Because we need the 2 cards that are left in hand, we need to draw the card and find the normal monster. We'll put back the Pale Rider for this purpose. Draw a card. That's not good. We'll set the Klein and then we'll use the Helical Riser again. We'll put back in now the Klein here, drawing a card. We found it, we finally found it. And then we'll Tribute for the Helical Riser, activate that effect. Maybe you can find an order or something here. We'll put back the Helical Riser and then we'll draw the card. See what we get. Oblivion, doesn't do anything. And then we finally found a normal monster. So that we did all that just to beat over the Chachalot. This is so low value. We could have gone Tribute Summon the Oblivion also. We could have Tribute Summoned the Oblivion and then emptied our hand. They just need to find the Daedalus now and we'd be in a very poor position. But we have 3 draws to find a Media Charge. We would have had more if we had Tribute Summoned the Oblivion also. Probably should have done that. Well, lesson for another day I suppose. We'll just have to wait and see. They are definitely halfway through the deck, but like, it's still a one-off. I'm doubtful that they'll find it. They might find it off the random mills after this. It's not yet, but they might on future turns. Finding a Wolfish and what was the other mill? A Performer. Still not Daedalus though. 1 more mill to find it if they have Wolfish rotation. Still nothing. They mill Amazing Dealer, so they won't be able to get that. Draw here. They do have the Shape of Aqua to discard. Luckily discarding the Imptaling Crisis for us. Though I already had the out to it, so I guess it didn't really matter whether they kept it or not. Using the Wolfish here to, I guess, add back Chachalot here. Yeah. Add back Chachalot should be summoned, beat over everything. Though they can't beat over one of the Helicals. They will beat over the one it equips for. But they won't be able to beat over this Helical specifically. So I'll have something to work with next one. And wait, this doesn't normally come up, but Helical Riser does not care about whether the face-up spell is on your field or not, and there is a juicy Umi on board that we can use for this. We'll go Sea Dragon Knight. We'll activate the effect of Sea Dragon Knight. We'll shuffle back Helical Riser and a Klein would be good. We'll check the back row here. A Grand Extreme here. They still don't have the thing that they need to use it properly. We go Secret Order here to get the Oblivion out. And now, because we have 2 cards left in hand, we can use the Helical Riser to draw a card. We'll see what we can get here. We'll put back the Jamaivu and draw that card. Another Oblivion isn't going to be doing us any favors here, so we're just gonna go to battle phase and we'll just swing over everything. We know that they don't have a trap here, so all we can do here is really beat over the stuff, attack with the CGI Knight and pass back to them later on. Again, one media charge will be really good here. Just one media charge. Just any media charge, you know, just one media charge. One media charge would win the game on the spot. They are probably going to draw Daedalus at this point, judging by their reaction in the live chat here, apparently not. But they still have time. I still need to draw media charge. Definitely not something that is particularly likely with more than half of the deck still left in the deck and I'm only drawing 2 cards. So we'll see exactly what happens here. We use the Ship of 7 Treasures first instead of using the CGI Knight. I don't want to clog my deck here. Drawing 2 cards. One more draw here. Discarding the Amazing Dealer here to draw 1 card. Still nothing. Great. Alright. Well, we can use the CGI Knight to check back row. We can put back in the Jamaivu and the Amazing Dealer to check this. Another Grand Extreme. Unfortunately, since they don't have anything in the graveyard that is the Grand Extreme, they can't we can't pop it with the CGI Knight. And it is very likely that they draw into Daedalus now. They are drawing half of their deck now, so if they don't find it, I'd be very confused. And let's see if they find the pet. What? Okay, sure, I guess not. That's not the Grand Extreme. Okay, no, they do manage to find it. That's good. They probably win the game from here, just because of like life totals. They can spend it, blow up everything. They just like just 2 monsters probably is enough. Any 12 would be good here. Yeah, that's lethal. That's even more lethal, I suppose. 49. Unfortunate. If we found a media charge at any point in that game, we would have won. But as it stands, did not find it. We just couldn't empty our hand in time. We could definitely have emptied our hand earlier on with the Oblivion, but definitely could have done that a bit better. But overall, fine game, fine game.